Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight it's Thursday before patch, which means patch notes. And I apologize guys, I did not manage to get this video out sooner and I didn't get a normal video out today. It's been an interesting week. As you know, I've had company down for a few days, so it's been a busy week. So thank you guys for bearing with me. Let's get straight into this update. So it is the Halloween update officially because it's October, so we can look forward to some interesting game modes, I'm sure. So maintenance times for Xbox and PlayStation will be October 2nd from 2 to 5:30 a.m. Central Time, 7 to 10:30 a.m. UTC. Update sizes for Xbox One S and X, it's 5,300 megabytes. For the Xbox Series S and X, it is also 5,300 megabytes, so 5.3 gigs. For PS4, it is 5,400 megabytes. For PS5, 1,700 megabytes. For the iOS and Android, it is 1,000 megabytes plus a 1,690 megabyte additional update. Okay. Now, Halloween update, Spooky Waves. Captains, new content is upon us. Please welcome the Halloween update. Before plunging into its dark depths, redeem the code QHB9S5XFAZ at wowslegends.com/code-redeemer, for those of you who are wondering. So this code right here. And like I said, it is wowslegends.com/code-redeemer. Okay, that's where you redeem these. You don't redeem them on your consoles. To get one common container and 3 Type 3 Halloween camos. If you're not ready to read the full patch notes, here is your... I apologize. I had to sneeze. Here is your too long didn't read. So, alternative British battleships in early access and a special themed calendar. The revamped Halloween event with new spooky items. The Arpeggio of Blue Steel, Ars Nova, is back. Northern Sentinel campaign rewarding the Tier 7 Anchorage. 2 seasons of ranked battles, and more. So there's a lot going on, hopefully. Now, for a few things. First of all, Halloween time is the best time to get a hold of some of the commanders, okay? So keep in mind, look out for Henry J. Hyde, for those of you who are in the German battleships and battle cruisers. Like, if you guys want to use those ships, look out for Henry J. Hyde. If you can pick him up, he's a huge, huge bonus to the German battleships. All right, I honestly don't know why anybody would play any other commander if they had access to Henry J. Hyde. He is fantastic, okay? He brings out the best in the German battleships, okay? Then, on top of that, we also have Arpeggio Blue Steel. Now, for those of you who don't know, usually when they bring back a collaboration like this, I don't know that they'll be adding new commanders. It doesn't say that they're adding new commanders, so what's probably more likely is that they're going to bring back some of the commanders from previous. And one of the ones that you want to look for is ARP Haruna. Haruna is the other commander that's going to buff your German battleship's secondary range. We use Haruna and the base commander Hipper as inspirations on our German battleship commander Henry J. Hyde. So this is a good time for German battleships and battle cruisers to get your commanders that you want, so that you can build them out and get the best of their accuracy plus secondaries. Okay, highly recommend Henry J. Hyde, Arpeggio, ARP Haruna. Okay, those are the two that you really want to look for if you're a commander for battleships. There are other good commanders out there as well. I'm trying to think of some of the other commanders. I want to say Feruria is one for the German destroyers. I think Blue Feruria or something like that is her name. She's got special skill for reloading torpedoes really quick. Then you've got who else? We've got God. I'm trying to think of everybody's names. There's the commanders for the Americans. I can't think of his name, that a lot of people use for the cruisers. Splendento, I think is his name. Anyway, so keep an eye out. There are some very good commanders out there during this particular time of the year. So make sure you guys keep an eye out. Check out check out the returning commanders if you've been looking for them, and you'll be surprised. Some of these commanders are very, very strong. So keep an eye out. All right, the Northern Sentinel campaign, bringing the Anchorage in. It's an interesting choice of timing for Wargaming to bring the Anchorage in, considering now obviously they plan this stuff well ahead of time, so it's not in their thing. But I don't know if you guys have heard, and I usually try to keep politics out of this, but there have been some Russians talking about needing to bring Alaska back into the Russian Empire. Yeah, that's not good talk. Okay, we bought it from them fair and square a long time ago. It's not our fault they didn't get more out of it, but we bought Alaska fair and square from them. And yeah, so it'll be interesting. But the timing of this coming out at this point is a little bit sus. But again, I know that it's not Wargaming's fault. I know they're not part of Russia anymore, supposedly, because they moved but when the war started and all that stuff broke out. So again, just it's interesting timing. But anyway, the Wave of Darkness. Halloween will soon be upon us. The revamped event starts on October 16th, with Rasputin set to make a return. It's time to save the world from the forces of darkness again. Also, great timing for this. We'll take a detailed look at the event and prizes you can earn when we get closer to its start. So if you guys aren't aware, this is actually one of the more fun game modes that they bring back once a year. It is actually quite fun, especially if you've got a team of guys to take in or folks to bring in with you, friends to bring into battle with you. Like, this is actually a lot of fun to play these game modes. Alternative British battleships in early access. I'm actually kind of looking forward to this, low-key. I don't know much about the British battlecruisers, but I do know that I absolutely love the Hood, which is, if you guys don't know, a battlecruiser for the British. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what these things have to offer. A new line of British battleships has arrived in early access, and it's available via regular and big British battleships crates. Because, you know, bringing it straight into placing it in the game would be just too much. Because they have to balance it before it comes out. In other words, they've got to get as much money out of you in crates before they release the line, so that they get more money out of you when they release the line. These 4 ships sport high-speed, mighty guns and an all-new turning torpedoes. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait a second. I think I have seen this. If I remember correctly, I've seen... Is it the Hampton? I want to say it's the Hampton. Freaking Flambass, one of my favorite creators for World of Warships PC. Flambass was playing the Hampton recently. He hated it, by the way. It was not a good ship. But one of the things that I noticed is he could launch his torpedoes over the bow, and then they would automatically turn towards the direction he was launching. Like, you still launch them like you normally would, where you have the little indicator telling you, okay, this guy's going at this place, launch, send it in this direction. But it's like a gyroscopic torpedo where even if you launch off the bow, they would then make a turn and then head in the direction of where you aimed them. So that is pretty cool. It gives you some interesting torpedo aspects. Again, it's a gimmick, but it's something new. I don't hate that. Even if I am a battleship commander, and that will almost certainly bite me in the butt at some point. Royal Duties Calendar. 4 weeks of tasks and 1 to catch up. A new calendar awaits your attention. Make sure to complete it. Besides all the goods you can obtain by progressing through it, exclusive Battleship Commander John Fisher can be yours. A special article with the prize breakdown will follow very soon. Please note, this feature is not yet available for the mobile version of Legends, so keep that in mind. We apologize, mobile, but you guys always seem to get left behind. I know you're already behind in terms of the grand timeline of World of Warships Legends, but you guys definitely struggling in the development department. But Northern Sentinel campaign for the Anchorage. Now, if you guys remember, recently I posted a video about the Anchorage, and I talked about this thing. I will definitely be taking it out again as we get this campaign. Also, it's nice to see a return of a Tier 7 campaign ship. Like, I'll be honest, like, it's one thing to constantly get new Tier 8s, that's whatever. Most of the time, though, Tier 8s are kind of meh. Like, they're sandwiched in between Tier 7s, which are arguably better than they should be, and Legendary tiers, which are insanely good, pretty much every legendary tier ship is insane, right? I think we can all agree. Legendary tier ships are legendary for a reason. And then the tier 8s are kind of sandwiched in there in between. There's a couple exceptions. Obviously, you got Ray Publi, you've got the AM Sumner, you've got a couple of cruisers that are really good at tier 8. But for the most part, the tier 8s are generally only marginally better than the tier 7s. And most of us would rather play the tier 7s. But anyway. Anchorage awaits. A new American Tier 7 cruiser arrives as the headliner of the standard 5-week 100 milestone campaign. With the catch-up mechanic enabled, she brings to the table sonar, repair party, smoke generator, and solid artillery. Here's a look at all the campaign rewards with and without the Admiralty backing. So without Admiralty backing, you get all of this, which is worth 16,130 doubloons. With Admiralty backing, you get all of that, plus you get all of this, including the premium Tier 7 cruiser Anchorage, which is worth a total of 70,890 doubloons. So keep that in mind. Again, I've said it many times, if you're ever going to spend money on this game, use your doubloons to buy the campaign Admiralty backing. 2,500 doubloons. Do not spend more than that. Just spend the 2,500 doubloons. Grind out the campaign over the 5 weeks, unlock the ship, play just enough to unlock the ship or whatever, but you get so much more for your money doing that than any other thing that you can possibly do, okay? Arpeggio of Blue Steel ARS Nova is back. So let's see what they've got. The awesome anime collaboration returns. New ships, commanders, and skins will be available in the store from October 2nd through November 6th. Expect a dedicated article to come your way very soon. So they don't really tell us anything there, unfortunately. But we do have 4 ships. And honestly, these ships, in terms of their camos, aren't really that impressive to me. Like, it looks like almost the same type of camo on all of them, except it's more like a neon glow on each of them, a different color. I don't know. I've never seen the anime, so I don't know if this is legit or if this is just kind of a meh. But I've never really cared for the ships. The commanders, though, they do have some decent commanders, especially Haruna. Highly recommend Haruna. Okay, I keep repeating that because a lot of you guys that play German battleships wonder how I get my builds. These are how. 2 seasons await for ranked battles. Prepare your Tier 7 and Tier 8 ships. The battles of Season 44 commence on October 3rd. We'll ship you a rundown of the prizes and every single detail in a dedicated article closer to that date. They seem like they don't want to put anything in these patch notes anymore. They just kind of want to tell us what's coming and then just leave it at that. And I know why they're doing this. I think one is because they're not 100% sure everything until like right up to the date that it actually happens. So that allows them to not like get everybody's hopes up too much and then end up over-promising and under-delivering, which is something that Wargaming has a tendency to do on any of their games. So they've been caught in that several times, and now they're just starting to get to a generality where they just like, okay, this is what's going to happen. We know this is going to happen, so this is what we'll tell everybody. And then as we get closer and we get everything confirmed, then we'll release a dedicated article later on. For mobile, Commander's legendary skills can now be chosen and upgraded on mobile. Well, congrats. You guys have been struggling for a while to get caught up, but this is actually pretty big. There are some great skills. One that I would highly recommend that you do not choose is Will to Rebuild. Okay, so keep that in mind. Will to Rebuild is not as good as it used to be. It used to be incredibly busted back in the day, especially if you were in a division. It is no longer busted. It's still good, but there are better perks available if you're wanting them. Legendary perks such as for destroyers, highly recommend the engine one, which is the propeller next to this. For cruisers, fully packed is huge. Refill station is another huge one for cruisers. For battleships, though, fight fire with fire. What does this do? When you get 3 fires on you while you're on a damage con, it will trigger a damage con and stop all damage over time. It will not repair modules. So if you get your gun knocked out, it won't repair that. But what it will do is it will automatically stop damage over time. So if you've got 3 fires or 2 fires and a flood and you get a 3rd fire, it will automatically stop the flooding and the fires, okay? Anyway, so with all of that being said, we are going to move on. The Halloween event will be available to enjoy for mobile players as well. Actually, the flooding, I don't remember if it does stop flooding. I may be wrong on the flooding, but fight fire with fire is definitely the perk. I'm pretty sure it's all damage over time, which would include flooding, but I may be wrong. It may not stop flooding, it may just stop the fires, but let me know down in the comments below. I'm sure plenty of you guys know more right off the top of your head. I am not looking at the game. I'm looking at my browser at the moment, so I can't tell you right off the top of my head. Okay, Halloween event will be available to enjoy for mobile players as well. So you guys get the first time, I believe, first time you guys have ever actually got to play the Halloween event, and I hope you guys enjoy it, because it is one of my favorite events, is this Halloween event. I do enjoy the Halloween stuff. It is pretty fun. At least the first couple of times you do it, and then you get bored of it pretty quickly. But it is pretty fun. It's different, and I like different. Especially different that actually relates to the game. You know what I mean? Some of the events that they bring out make no sense in terms of what the game is. Like the ducky, like that's kind of, it's a thing, but at the same time it's kind of annoying. Space battles was okay, but I didn't really care for that. The stupid racing boats I couldn't care less about. I legitimately could not care less about racing boats. All right, like I have no interest in that whatsoever in the context of World of Warships Legends, but this game mode with the Halloween stuff is actually kind of fun. Okay, so optimization for graphics and overall stability added, as well as graphic presets. For now, these presets will be selected automatically. Enhanced tutorial experience. So you guys actually, wait, what? They get a tutorial? Wargaming. No, I'm pretty sure they're just talking about the entry tutorial that just tells you how to go forward, reverse, and so on and so forth, which we get that on console as well. It's very easy to overlook it. New ships of the update. The British Tier 6 Premium Battleship Resistance. High speed with engine boosts available. Rapid reload and turning torpedoes. Resistance is very well-rounded. This battlecruiser is great for waging warfare over medium distances. And again, the turning torpedoes, I'm pretty sure, is just a special way for them to say, like, you can launch them over the bow, aiming off to the side, and they will automatically turn towards the direction. I don't think they're actually, like, seeking torpedoes like they get on subs where they ping you and they chase you down. So keep that in mind. Balance changes. This update is light on balance changes, except for a notable change to Salem. She has been ruling the seas at Tier 8 and has earned a nerf to her damage output and survivability. Salem, main battery reload speed is increased from 5.5 to 6.5 seconds. Armor plating for casemates reduced from 30 to 27 millimeters thick. Conning tower armor improved from 102 to 140 millimeters on the roof and reduced from 165 millimeters to 160 on the sides. Based on your feedback and stats during the open test of Anchorage, her stats were changed prior to the release. See, this is another one. So Anchorage actually got a buff before it was released, which is interesting. I'm trying to think back if any other ship has ever actively been balanced or changed prior to release due to feedback from the community, because Anchorage honestly was pretty meh. It's not a bad ship, and I'm not going to say that the Anchorage was a bad ship when I tested it. If you guys watched my video recently on it, you'll know that I didn't think it was a bad ship. I just thought it was pretty decidedly mediocre. Main battery reload time has been improved from 15.5 to 14.5 seconds. Not a huge change, but it's going to be a nice little bump to her DPM. And then 180-degree turret traverse. This is actually a bigger change in my opinion. Keeping those turrets able to track targets a little bit faster. It's not a huge change. Again, it's 3 seconds. But 3 seconds is a pretty significant change. So that's an interesting one. I do approve of that one for sure. This one is a little bit of a bump to DPM, but this one, keeping those guns able to point at the target while you're trying to dodge, is going to be huge. Because the ship isn't particularly mobile in and of itself, which is why I prefer things like Baltimore, Des Moines, Wichita, you know, those ships, which are smaller platforms. They only have three turrets, but they're able to cut through the water and change course a little bit quicker, allowing you to be a little bit more survivable in that medium to long range. More changes to a variety of ships are coming in future updates, so keep an eye out. Bug fixes. All platforms. Giulio Cesari's turrets now display correctly. Fixed incorrect depiction of the King of Primitives' permanent camouflage in the port. fixed a bug that caused incorrect post-battle statistics, fixed a couple of descriptions, including some for bureau and commander skills. For console, fixed a handful of UI elements that were not displaying correctly in some cases. For mobile, fixed instances of return to port button not working correctly. Others, extra bureau points are now converted to credits, with 1 point equaling 1 credit. The ship carousel UI in the port, like the ammunition, consumables, upgrades, camouflage, and boosters section in the ship's focus screen, has been reworked. Slightly changed the barbette armor for the following ships: Miyoko, Southern Dragon, Eastern Dragon, Georgia, including the W version, Scharnhorst, including the black version, the B version, Minotaur, and Tiger 59. For the Halloween event and versus AI battles, divisions can now include up to 5 players. That's an interesting thing, but it is for the Halloween event and versus AI only, so keep that in mind. But I do kind of like that. It'll be interesting. I think it's too strong to have 5-man divisions in just regular games. Like, if you get 3 good players on one team, like in a division working together, actively working towards a common goal, that is an incredibly strong like thing, right? Now, obviously, they usually try to balance divisions with divisions, but I'm just saying, like, having a team of 5 good players potentially on one team in a 9-man division, like in a 9-man game, that's kind of game breaking. I remember on World of Tanks console, we used to have 5-man divisions where you would be able to take out a 5-man platoon of friends, and you just tore the game up, and that was with 15 tanks in the game. And then they reversed it down to 3 as well. So keep that in mind. Like, I'm glad that it's only for AI and for Halloween event. Maybe other events down the line. Dude, that would be crazy. Could you imagine going into like I'm not one for the arena mode. I'm really not. But could you imagine going into arena and having 5-man divisions? That could be ridiculous. Like, that would be fun. You have obviously that would be 20 people in the lobby, right? Because you have 4 teams of 5. But maybe they drop it down to having 3 teams of 5. But then you end up with that wouldn't work. You need to have some symmetry. So you'd have 4 teams of 5. That would be fun. That could be crazy though. But that would be an interesting thought down the road. But anyway, with all of that being said, crates that can be acquired for oil within fleets was changed to fall big crates. Ocean map was added to the list of maps in the training rooms. So Ocean is finally back. That is an interesting one. I don't know that this map will ever get into the main rotation. If you guys don't know what Ocean is literally exactly what it sounds like. It is a wide open map. There are no islands. There's nothing to protect you. It is wide open sea combat at its finest. And it's kind of crazy, to be honest. Last time we saw this in Legends was when we got to play the Yami special. So when Yami was first being brought out, the Yamato, when it was first being tested in World of Warships Legends, they brought out the Ocean map, and you could end up on the Ocean map in an Epicenter configuration. It's the first time we saw Epicenter too. So you had Epicenter and Ocean, and so that's pretty cool that we'll be able to go into training rooms and have the Ocean map. So looking forward to that. Be brave this spooky season and turn the tide. So honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to this update. I want to test out the British battle cruisers. I'm interested to see how the Anchorage performs this time around versus her test. I don't think it's going to be a huge change, to be honest. I think she's still going to be a pretty mediocre at best cruiser, and that's purely based on the fact that she relies on teammates to do a lot of her spotting, and she's not the most mobile ship in the world. So when you do get caught, it's hard to get out the way of the shells, and you just eat damage from everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be interesting. Let me know what you guys are looking forward to most in the coming update, and I look forward to reading your comments. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.